He said he told me, and my guy Jordan is over there. He said, now they're gonna come for you. I said, can't come for me for what? I didn't say anything.
Right.
He said they're gonna come, and they're gonna say a lot of different things, and they're gonna be some people that you thought you might be able to get, that they're not gonna come now.
Right.
And that's absolutely.
News of Cat Williams is out by the time you realize he's also talking about you, Shannon. It's too late.
I didn't want to get with a white woman because I was scared she might have me running down the street like Jonathan Majors. Not because I didn't like white women. I think white women are as great as any other women. But I'm not going to act like I'm not scared of them. I have a reason to be scared. You could be Kang the Conqueror, and they could take your rabbit ass down in 2 weekends. Well, they went around the world for 2 years straight telling any women that would listen that this was a good-looking. Since when? When did y'all start liking a big nose? And when did y'all like a little head and a big jaw? When? Since when? That look like my daddy. When you start liking my daddy? You like black people's features like that? If this ugly is good-looking.
That's 3 fingers down as he's pointing to Shannon right there.
And all is good-looking. Anytime you see them telling you something you can't believe, just understand it's a play. Get out of here! Get out of here, ugly boy!
Ugly boy. Thus, Shannon Sharpe appears to be I'm Furious, because Shannon must have known that there would be repercussions for his viral Cat Williams interview, which allowed guests to spill tea on a number of well-known people. So, what exactly did Shannon say about his career taking a nosedive after that interview? And who are these industry figures purportedly trying to blacklist him? Let's break it down.
I didn't know it was gonna cause this kind of ripple. I didn't think it was gonna move me in the direction. I'm glad it did. I understand what comes along with that. But if you remember, he said it. He said, this is gonna put you in another dimension.
He definitely did.
Just in case you overlooked it in a candid interview, Shannon Sharpe revealed all the crazy he's been through since that viral Cat Williams interview earlier this year. Cam first questioned Shannon about how he maintains his objectivity when his guests go off and start disparaging or making wild accusations about celebrities Shannon has already featured on his show. Shannon replied that he just lets the guests talk and doesn't fact-check everything they say. Shannon then discussed the whole Cat Williams and Ricky Smiley controversy, clarifying that it's not his responsibility to monitor what the guest says, and he simply assumes that they're telling the truth.
And look at those same podcasts when they don't mention Shannon Sharpe. And then you'll understand why they're mentioning Shannon Sharpe.
Right. I can dig it. And at the end of the day, what you do is what you do.
Yes.
Has nothing to do.
But I mean, you would think by now, somebody would have outed Shannon Sharpe if he was living that lifestyle. Somebody would have outed.
Yeah. I think really, too, as we keep everything moving forward, as well as positive. When I ask this question of how do you remain neutral between the guest telling the story and or the person they're telling the story about, how do you find credibility in that?
Cam, what I try to do is that some guests I know more about than others. But what I've prided myself on doing is not listening to any other interviews that guest may or may not have had, because I don't want to cloud my judgment about what to think about said individual. So if you notice my interviews, they normally go about 2 hours or longer because I don't interrupt. I'm having a conversation. You and I having a conversation, you're not gonna cut me off, I'm not gonna cut you off. And so I just let the guests talk. I'm assuming, like when I had Cat on, I had Ricky Smiley on at first, and we was talking about the Friday situation. Ricky said he was originally supposed to play Money Mike. I didn't know that. I didn't know if anybody, so I'm thinking, I'm getting some information ain't nobody else knows.
It's new news.
Yes, so I'm like, oh man. Ricky said he was originally supposed to be Money Mike instead of the thieving Santa Claus. So I felt good. A couple of days later, Cat says that's a lie. And so I'm like, why is is he upset? I mean, it's not like he said that Cat did a bad job as Money Mike. I didn't realize, in what Cat later came on to refute, it said that wasn't the case. So they were like, when Cat said, you let him lie, I said, Cat, I'm assuming, I wasn't on the set. I'm assuming that what he's saying is true because he was there. I've got no reason to believe that he or she is coming on the show lying. So for me, it's like, I've told people, I'm not 60 Minutes. I'm not Dateline. I'm not 48 Hours. I'm not one of these investigative journalists that I'm trying to get to the root. There's a whistleblower that says that somebody has secrets in their basement or something. That's not what I am, Cam. I'm having a conversation. Me and a guest are having a conversation. I said, is there anything that you don't want to talk about? I always ask the guest that. Sometimes they say, well, I would appreciate if we not talk about this. Right. Cool, no problem. Because I believe you can tell your story without saying something negative. But yes, I believe a person that's been in a business, that's been doing something 10, 15, 20, 30 years are more than one salacious story. Right. That's what I believe. So if they say they want to stay away from it, but if they want to tell something, who am I to say, no, I don't do, you can't tell that. People are, Cam, so we know why they're upset. Come on now.
Shannon went on to discuss how Cat had provided him with the receipts for every one of his statements, and he reiterated that it is not his responsibility to push back too much most of the time. He just wants to let the guests speak.
He had studied every interview that I had done, conversation I had, he had studied. Because a lot of things that we didn't mention on the show, he was talking about it at. But if you notice, he was like, he was doing this, he did this a lot. So his recall, everything that somebody had said, that he had a question, it didn't happen like that. Because I asked Said, Cat once accused you of stealing a joke. Said, I didn't steal the joke because the timeline doesn't match up. And I think he said something to the effect, if you look at how his joke ended, how mine ended. Cat came back, he refuted that. I want credibility. I want people to be able to share their story without me interrupting. I think sometimes people in our position that do what you and I do, they want to hear their voice instead of the guest. Well, I can go home and hear myself talk if I wanted to, if that's what I wanted to hear. I think for the most part that people tune in to watch my pod because they want to hear what the guests have to say. I let the guests speak. People say, well, you push back on Amanda Seales. And all I said was, Amanda, did you think being a child, correcting a teacher in front of the students, could it have been something else other than racism? That's all. And people lost it. Well, you didn't push back. I asked Monique. Monique said Oprah asked her to interview for a role, to go read for a role. She went and read for the role. Oprah ended up getting the role. I said, Mo, did you ever think they were looking for a heavyset black woman? And it wasn't because the industry was against you. Right. She said, my brother, I didn't think about it like that. But see, they don't mention that. Right. Because that wouldn't, I've got to try to do something to try to quell this momentum that this wave that Shannon is riding. So any way I can try to undercut him or to make him look like, I'm not a journalist. I never told anybody I was a journalist. I said I'm a conversationalist. But what people are upset about is that for some reason people come to me and I don't look at them with judgy eyes. I have no predetermined notion or preconceived notion, and they open up to me. That's what they're upset about. Because if you look at a lot of these people that's been on other podcasts, they don't do the views that they do when they come on Club Shay Shay.
Shannon continued, discussing how the success of his interview with Cat had really elevated his podcast to new heights. Cat even went so far as to predict that the interview would change the course of Shannon's show. However, CAD also cautioned Shannon that some influential people in the industry would come after him with a vengeance for giving Cat a platform to reveal all of their dark secrets, and Shannon said that's exactly what happened. Shannon revealed that although he's grateful for the significant boost in popularity that came from Kat's explosive revelations, he is also facing some serious fallout, just as Kat had warned him. Apparently, some influential people in the industry are not amused by the way Shannon joked about them and their exposure, and are now purportedly working behind the scenes to undermine Kat's show.
I didn't know it was gonna cause this kind of ripple. I didn't think it was gonna move me in the direction. I'm glad it did. I understand what comes along with that. But if you remember, he said it. He said, this is gonna put you in another dimension.
He definitely did.
He said,
but my mama said, boy, there's power in the tongue.
yes. He told me, and my guy Jordan is over there, he said, now they're gonna come for you. I said, can't come for me for what? I didn't say anything.
Right.
He said, they're gonna come. And they're gonna say a lot of different things. And they're gonna be some people that you thought you might be able to get, that they're not gonna come now.
Right.
And that's absolutely has happened. That's absolutely has happened. They were so excited. Thanks for reaching out. We can't wait to sit down. And a day later, they can't do it. And then no call, they won't follow this, so forth and so on.
Shannon acknowledged that he is aware of the consequences of having someone of C. Williams' caliber on his podcast, but he also stated that he wasn't prepared for the amount of criticism and pushback that he received.
I understand what comes along with an interview like that. Did I expect it? No. Did I expect all the negativity that came along? Because, I had Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey did 8 million views, had Coach Prime, I've had a lot of comedians. And some of the comedians had taken shots at other comedians, but nothing like this. I didn't expect the vitriol to come, especially from some of the people, and I'm not gonna say we were friends, but I'm saying we were cordial, we were friendly towards each other. Some people that I've kind of helped behind the scenes, and to see them attack, oh, I wouldn't have let him do this, I wouldn't have said that. But you know what? It took me a long time, Cam. Because when you play sports, you understand that Atlanta fans, even though you're from Atlanta, they're gonna have a little resentment towards you because you've beaten their team.
Right.
Or certain fan bases are gonna feel a certain type of way. And I felt that the better the player, the more vitriol and hate he's gonna get from opposing fans. I got that. But in this situation, I can honestly say I did not expect the level of vitriol and the suddenness. That's what really got me, the suddenness, because it was like...
And get this, Shannon asserted that the recent surge in rumors about him allegedly being on the DL is a direct result of having Kat Williams on his show. According to Shannon, certain industry insiders have been spreading false information about his sexual orientation in an effort to undermine him and his podcast.
All of a sudden, he gay now.
Yeah.
Right.
So when you do see, Unc Zesty, or, stepping outside of, I don't know now, and we don't never see him post no woman, he just got all these damn dogs. Red flag.
Uh-huh.
From the horse's mouth himself, it's like, how do you respond?
I'm in a no-win situation. Because if I respond, they say hit dog holler. Mm-hmm. If I don't respond, they say, well, if it wasn't true, he would say something. So if I respond, I'm a hit dog. If I don't respond, he's hiding something. So how do I win? I win, hey, they're gonna say what they... That's the thing that I didn't realize, that when I really got into this, there's this celebrity, this kind of fame here, Cam, is on a different level. I mean, I was a damn good football player. I won Super Bowls, I'm in the Hall of Fame, but this is 20 times the magnification of what I was as an athlete.
So my question is it because of the power of social media, or is it the evolution of you?
It's a combination of both, and that's why I don't let people play with my name. Everybody knows there's nothing wrong with being gay. There's not. I'm just not gay. And most straight men don't let you play with their name like that.
Especially not in our culture.
No! But see, also, in our culture, if I want to try to emasculate you or try, what do I say? I say he's gay. Because no matter what you think, that's still, in our culture, that's still kind of frowned upon. And people, they'll say all these things, well, it's okay. And I don't have a problem with it. I have people that work for me that's their life. That's their life. That's not my life. I don't judge what you do in your home, what you go to bed with, who you wake up as. That ain't got nothing to do with Shannon Sharpe. Right. That ain't my bed. Is that was the hardest thing, because it was almost like they were trying to convince me that I was something that I'm not. But I kept repeating.
Putting aside Shannon's sexual orientation, let's discuss about these prominent figures in the industry who allegedly attempted to exact revenge on him for providing Kat with a platform. A number of people have publicly criticized Shannon and charged him with demeaning other Black people in order to gain attention. Initially, Steve Harvey stated he wouldn't be responding to anything Kat had to say about him on Club Chase because he is all about positivity. Steve also posted a video of himself on X, where he gave Family Feud advice on how to overcome hatred. He captioned the video saying, "You don't have to address your haters."
All you gotta do is be it. You ain't gotta say, you don't have to open your mouth. You don't have to do it, man. He prepares a table in the presence of mine enemies. He do it all the time. All my haters, I ain't gotta say nothing to them. They got TV. They can cut their TV on 7 days a week. All that hate, he on there. Oh man, I don't even worry about it. I've learned how to handle haters, man. And the only reason you have haters is because you're effective. You have haters for two reasons. You're doing something that they're jealous of, or God is preparing to take you somewhere and the devil is providing opposition. Those are the reasons you have haters. God is about to do something and the devil has to throw opposition. Those are the two reasons you have haters. I got plenty of haters. When I get them, man, I always look and see what God finna do. Like I got somebody really attacking me right now. I mean, really going after me, man. I'm just waiting to see what God gonna do. Because they're gonna have to get on. Now, everybody that came after me before, you eventually have to get on. Because they can't listen to me, man. Can't nobody stop what God got for you. And nobody, there ain't a man living can stop not one thing God got for you. Don't even worry about them haters, man. Just all you gotta do is just keep shining. They see you. You ain't got to say nothing.
Told him they had a TV and that they could turn it off 7 days a week. Hayden said, "Oh man, I don't even worry about you. I've learned how to handle haters, man. And the only reason you have haters is because you're effective." Haters have two reasons for supporting you. Either you're doing something that makes them jealous, or God is getting ready to take you somewhere and the devil is putting up resistance. You have enemies because God is about to do something and the devil needs to create opposition. I have plenty of haters when I get them, guy. I constantly always look about to see what God have to do because, I got someone really going after me right now. I simply wait to see what God will do because they will eventually have to get on. But since no one followed me initially, you had to get on because you are incapable of listening to me. No man can stop what God has in store for you, and no man alive can stop anything that God has in store for you. So I don't even worry about them. Man, haters simply keep shining. People will notice. You don't have to say anything. However, it appears that Steve became quite attached to Kat, and he couldn't resist addressing the drama. Therefore, he decided to spill the beans on a previously recorded episode of the Steve Harvey radio show, and to his credit, he didn't hold back in suggesting that Kat might just be a big old liar. Steve advised being cautious when you hear something that seems to be the truth, because the person telling you what they believe to be true is speaking eloquently. Don't be fooled by that because there are people who are skilled at lying. They can weave just enough truth into their lies to trick you into believing they are telling the truth when, in fact, they are lying. Steve addressed Kat Williams and the Club SH interview during his most recent Golf Classic event. He stated unequivocally that Kat ain't his and that he would gladly destroy him.
A young man without a role model is like an explorer without a map. How do you figure manhood out without talking to another man? And I want to say Kat Williams ain't I want to say. I can't say it on the radio, so I don't use my platform to bring nobody down. But when I'm live, though, I'll destroy you.
After Monique's heated appearance, DL Hughley weighed in on Club Shay. He went on his Instagram Live to berate the company and called out Shannon Sharpe for being untidy, comparing him to Wendy Williams with a weight set, among other things.
And now I'm the new Wendy Williams with a weight set. I'm like, bro, why are you mad at me?
He call you the what?
He said I was Wendy Williams with a weight set. So in other words, he said,
Oh, that's funny though, huh?
oh, okay,
That's a
yeah,
good
you
one.
gotta laugh at that
That's a
one.
good one. I like that.
But check this out. I ain't doing no gossiping.
Right.
They say what they say, I'm done with it.
Right.
I ain't going back and forth. Ooh, tell me more, Monique, tell me
Right.
more. Or tell me more, Cat, tell me more. He said what he said, I'm moving on.
Shannon, however, shot back at DL, saying he only lets visitors express their opinions and isn't out there propagating rumors.